All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Now, I kind of wanted to talk about Islam today because I was talking to somebody about Islam in the gym yesterday, and I said I read the scriptures, and he assumed I was Christian. I said I'm not religious. Well, he was telling me how he was Muslim, and we started talking about fasting. Now, I basically do intermittent fasting, which is I don't eat until maybe after 6 or when it goes dark or whatever the case may be, and I'll probably eat for like 6 hours, and I won't eat until I break my fast at the next day on 6. And we were talking about fasting, and we were talking about how you feel stronger during fasting. Now, I don't class that as fasting. That's just I just think it's prudent to live that way. But yeah, he said he felt stronger during fasting. I'm like, what are you talking about? You feel stronger during fast? When you fast, you feel weak. You've not eaten for 1 or 2 or 3 days, however long you fasted for. And I'm like, how do you feel stronger? And as we began speaking, he told me he was fasting for Ramadan, and I'm thinking to myself, that's not real fasting, because he looked like when I was talking, it was a bit of a patronizing tone. He's a cool dude. I don't have a problem with him. You know what I mean? But it was like even when I was talking to him, he was like, "Yeah, I watch you," because we were in the gym, and he said, "I watch you exercise," which, to be honest, is like when I go in the gym, I feel people watching me because of the type of exercises I do. I do body conditioning and stuff like that because of my body size and whatever the case may be. And I'm thinking, I'm aware of you in the gym, but I don't really watch people. I just do my own thing. I even had there was one time when him and his friend have come up, and his friend made a point to say, when he skips with both feet because he uses more energy that way, because I skip for maybe I'll do 10 or 15 minutes. So his friend just wanted to elaborate that, the reason why I do that is because I skip using alternate feet, which I do sometimes. But it's just when you're doing your thing, it's like people come up to you and do this insecure thing. Like, I've been boxing before, and I'll have some of the instructors come up and be like, when you box, you're not supposed to stand in the same place and throw jabs like a robot. And I'm like, people are damn demons. That's all I can say. And people don't have a clue what they're talking about, because this guy claimed, he basically, because you're going to go for what you think makes most sense. So to you, if reading scriptures and following the laws is second to being in a religion like Islam, then to you that makes the most sense, because surely you'd be looking for the truth. And when I was telling him, it wasn't even I was telling him my point of view, he wasn't interested in inquiring. So I don't force my beliefs down people's throats. If I know you're ignorant, I'm not really going to get into a long discussion with you. But the point is, Islam, they worship a cube. Now, you're going to tell me, he said he breaks his fast 3 hours later than I do because he starts eating at 6. But you do that for 30 days. I do that. Some days I might even eat later than 6. But the point is, I'm going for it's not even to brag, but it's like he was trying to brag on me that his fast is harder than mine. I'm like, dude, like what's the longest you fasted for? And he just told me Ramadan. So you've not even gone through a full 24 hours fasting before, and yet you want to give me advice on fasting. Then he asked me why I was fasting, and I didn't even go to the spiritual aspect or the health benefits. I just said, what, it just works for me because of my metabolism. Because what does it say in Proverbs? Talk not much with a fool, and go not to him that have no understanding. Beware of him, lest thou have trouble, and thou shalt never be defiled with his fooleries. Depart from him, and thou shalt find rest, and never be disquieted with madness. And it's not like I'm pissed, but just even speaking to him, it just messes with my energy, because it's like dudes are always trying to impress themselves on you, like, or try to count themselves as superior to you, or try to impose their will or their point of view over yours. And I don't believe in that way of existing. I've always just found that with people, and when I feel that in people's spirits, it just puts me off. Like they're in competition with you, and I'm like, why are we in competition? If anything, we should be helping each other. This is why black people don't get anywhere. So-called black people, it's like we have a crab in a bucket mentality. You know what I mean? So it's like you stay far away from people. Even I was talking to this girl in the gym, and she said I don't like people because I remember one time when I spoke to her, I thought she was cool. I had a conversation with her. We spoke for an hour, and then, I realized she was a fool, and I really just tried to keep away from her. But she's always trying to talk to me. She showed me horoscope and showed, my horoscope and her horoscope, and, just to demonstrate that, we're not really compatible. And I'm like, just get away from me with this witchcraft stuff. It's like I didn't even want to talk to her. And when she see me, she'll wave at me, and I'll do whatever back. She'll be like, why didn't you say hello? And it's like, I did. I waved. Like, you expect me to run up to you and hug you? Because these people, I'm telling you, these people are demons, and you need to stay away from most people. And it's not to say I'm not social. I like people who not everyone knows everything, but at least inquire and be respectful and be inquisitive. Do you know what I mean? Like, and be humble when you're asking somebody who understands something that you don't. I mean, he showed me some exercises, and I was grateful. I was like, dude's actually physically stronger than me, but I probably have more stamina and power than he does. Do you see what I mean? It's like I just see working out as a justice scale. The more power you have, or the more, quote unquote strength you have, the lower your stamina is going to be on that justice scale. I'd like to have, as far as body fitness is concerned, I'd like to have a balanced justice scale. And it's the same thing with the scriptures. It's like, it's about scripture. It has nothing to do with religion. Religion is for fools. We're going to go into these Bible quotes about fools. A fool have no delight in understanding, but his heart may discover itself. So, people don't want to understand things. They just basically want to showcase how they're the most competent, or most skilled, or most effective at any one particular thing. They don't really want to be corrected, because a fool hates being corrected. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth in till afterwards. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. We're supposed to conquer our bodies and our flesh. I don't see, it's even to say I'm intermittent fasting. I think it's absolute bullcrap, because this is probably how people used to eat and operate back in the day. You weren't eating all the time. You didn't have time for that. No one eats all throughout the day. That's not the correct way to have a body. Like, I don't. It's like, people are demons, man. And if you hang around with them too much and you take on that energy, it's gonna vex you. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered. So I don't live life based on my own vain opinion, or the vain opinion of people who do not like me. Arabs, by and large, do not like so-called black people. They're disrespectful as hell. When I go and get my meat from the shop, you can always tell by how they speak in their language when you're right there, that they might be talking about you, or they don't really respect you. And then I just find them to be dirty people. There's sometimes I go to the shop and they'll give me a plastic bag and there's bits of meat on it. It's like, wash your friggin' hands. Like, why would I want a piece of meat on my plastic bag? I put that in my bag, and now there's some meat floating around in my bag. Like, it's disgusting. And when you're dealing with demons, you tend to find they're very unorderly. I mean, even the dude I was speaking to, he did his weights and he just left his weights on the floor. I was doing the workout with him, so I put them away. But it's just the fact that, you take weights from a place and you just leave them on the floor. And then this guy is talking about, how, drinking is haram, or against the law. I mean, come on.